Number one, stay the same and you numb out in your escapism, whatever it is. If it's drinking, being on your phone 24/7, pills, shopping, sex and love,
working, gambling,
whatever it is, whatever ism you choose, numb out in that and then keep getting worse and worse over the years and disconnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's option one. Option two is one person evolves. One person changes and then they outgrow the other person and then usually they break up. And then number three is both people evolve. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gant. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. We'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject matter, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more revealing journey of the human experience. This is Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about, dun, 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 evolving as a couple. Yay! Mark Gant is here. Woo! Special guest. He is the mic dropper of the family. So we thought it was a good idea, right, Mark?
Yes, we did.
For you to join me today, the other half of Secret Life, because we do a lot of couples sessions with couples being in recovery ourselves together for 20 years. That the reason we're still together after 20 years isn't because we haven't been through shit, because we have. It's because of we evolved as humans. And the other day, I think it was last week, we had a session with a couple and I made a very clear statement. I said, you have 3 choices as a couple. Number one, stay the same and you numb out in your escapism, whatever it is. If it's drinking, being on your phone 24/7, pills, shopping, sex and love,
working, gambling,
whatever it is, whatever ism you choose, numb out in that and then keep getting worse and worse over the years and disconnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's option one. Option two is one person evolves. One person changes and then they outgrow the other person and then usually they break up. And then number three is both people evolve and they evolve together. You do your own work and then as a couple you evolve together. Those are really the only 3 options.
Yeah.
So Mark was like, oh, we should do an episode on that. So we wanted to talk about the importance of that. The importance of when you are in a partnership, not a companionship. The difference is companionship is someone that it's almost like a friend that you just go through life and they're there for like comfort. Partnership is someone you build a life with, someone you have long-term goals with, someone that you evolve with, someone you grow with, someone you want to make the world a better place. So I have written down lots of things that we have done to help grow our relationship. So I'll just say evolving partnerships is considered best when it's flexible, living relationships that adapt to new opportunities, changes in circumstances than what was. So I guess my question for you is, what was the biggest moment in our relationship that you thought needed to evolve and change?
Oh, the most important? Oh,
Or just one off the top of your head so they can hear, like
Yeah.
a moment for you.
Well, I think that, I mean, I guess There's so many. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I would say that I guess one I want to say is like when it seems the darkest,
Yeah.
that's where the beauty comes out of. Like all those things, like our biggest fears, like when those things, a situation happens,
Mhm.
and we're like, I don't know, like how we're gonna get through this.
Well, why don't you do the one on when you started were directing the movie recently?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So for me, I'm in my place of like I want to create something. I'm excited, I'm passionate, I'm gonna go for this thing. But what happens sometimes I get like blinders on and I'm only about the movie,
Mhm.
right? And so I wanted to make sure that this time I did it different and I didn't, you know, uh,
Disappear.
disappear. And so I thought I did pretty good until I actually disappeared and went to Malta. Is that what you're talking about? Like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, when he goes into a project, he completely just disappears, even mentally. I almost can see, oh, you just Mark Gant. Like
Right.
he just goes in his head. He's like a head goer in her.
Mhm.
And it was that moment, like we were out of town and I said, like, you cannot do what you normally do. Like, you cannot disappear from Davis and I.
Right.
Like, that's not an option. So, either you have to change that behavior or we're not going to be here. Like, we don't deserve that. Your son does not deserve a dad that just disappears.
Right.
Like, you're allowed to be creative, you're allowed to be in that artistic and stuff, but you can't do it in that form anymore.
Right.
You have a
Right.
child. And I don't like it. And it's always been a thing with us when you would do that.
Yeah. Well, I think and that's where it's like two parts. So that there's that piece of that
Mhm.
where I started to work on that for myself. And it's like, well, why do I do that? Why do I feel like it, I can't, I have to do these things right now. Like I have to be on my computer. I have to send that email. I have to do all that stuff. And that was, for me, what I had to look at was the fear of failure. And so when I could pull back from that, work on that, then I didn't feel like I had to be 24/7 worrying about the movie. Instead, I could be present for when I was here with you.
Yeah.
And then I think at the same time, for the evolution is that you were able to allow to see me change
Mhm.
and to say, hey, could tell that there was something going on. You're like, hey, go no, go take that call. And you would say, you gave me some space because I wasn't sitting there on the phone all the time. You would say, it sounds like you need to make that call. Why don't you go
Mhm.
make that call?
Mhm.
Where before you'd be frustrated that I'm making calls
Or take it
24/7
personal.
or take it personal that it's
Mhm.
about you. Instead, because we had worked through it, you were able to say, no, 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 go, 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 go. Why don't you go take, go for a drive, go do something, go for a walk so you can,
Mhm.
do that.
I think this is a good thing. Like let me give like the 11 signs of growing apart. So, okay, number one, we share things with someone else than our partner. Like you will go off and share with other people. Number two, you don't want to spend your free time with your partner. Number three, we don't have that
No.
problem. Number three, there is little physical touch and intimacy. Four, communication stalls. Next, you are both defensive and less vulnerable. You seem to criticize one another a lot. You feel indifferent to each other, which I think happens a lot in couples we see. You keep secrets from each other. When you think about your future together, you have doubt. Number 10, you feel alone even when you are together and you don't feel support for one another. So I think if you have one or two of those going on, it's
Yeah.
time to evolve because we see a lot of couples that don't feel support, feel alone when they're together, don't see a future. They feel indifferent. They criticize each other a lot. They get defensive. They're not acting like a team. They don't communicate. They don't change their communication style. They want what they had at the beginning of the relationship. And you tell them a lot, like you're romanticizing the beginning of the
Yeah.
relationship. And you were just talking to someone about that.
Yeah, I was just saying that, there's this, we're on our best behavior in the beginning, and there's the sort of fantasy of who this person is and who I'm trying to be. And then, as life happens, as you start to get into the relationship and, you are triggered by this person. I mean, we say it all the time. We end up you're sort of attracted to that opposite. You're attracted to the person that's going to A, trigger you,
Hmm.
and then B, give you the opportunity to change,
To heal.
to heal, to get through those wounds that you have. Because I think and I mean, I haven't seen it where it isn't the case where like the person that you're with is there to help you, see the blind spots of the, of your life.
Well, it's either you have a chance to heal it or
Yeah,
burn
exactly.
it, to
You
keep
burn it down.
yourself
Yeah,
down.
exactly.
It's truly it. Like I think they say it's like the beauty of the marriage is you get to the opportunity to heal all those
Yeah.
wounds. And you really have to go, this is my partner. We are a team. And I think that's what people forget. They're fighting
Hmm.
against each other. And it's
Yeah.
like, we're a team. I'm not fighting you. I'm trying to help us work better as teammates.
Yeah.
It's like seeing um, you like we saw that kid and I'm getting off track but at Davis's soccer like he was not helping, he
Yeah.
was just playing by
Yeah. Yeah.
himself
Yeah.
and there's like no team.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about like when I used to fight you and my tone
Hmm.
and I would make everything defensive, and that's what I really had to work on and evolve in is like I took everything so defensive because my parents used to fight about everything.
Right.
They were like constantly at battles. So when you would say something to me, I would take it as a criticism, you attacking me, and I would like come at you um like you were trying to put me down because
Hmm.
that's what I saw in my household. So I had to soften,
Hmm.
not be so
Yeah.
defensive. And that's where I had to evolve in my feminine,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to like attack back.
Right. Well, and I was also, and then I had my filter of hearing what you were saying in your defensiveness and your tone to feel like, oh, I'm doing it wrong.
Mhm.
I'm messing up. I'm doing this. I can't even share my truth. I can't be honest because when I do, this happens. And it's like that is also based in my childhood where I felt like with, my parents at times, I wasn't able to share what was going on with me without feeling like I had to take care of their feelings, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
So I'm there switching it with putting on a, oh, there's my mom. I've just made Brianne my mom. I need to make sure she's okay. Oh, no, I disappointed her and all that kind
I'm
of thing.
sure Cheryl's loving
She,
that.
well, she understands it. She's, we've gone through a whole journey, my mom and I, and gone to the other side of it. So, you know,
Okay, so here are some things you can check off. We're going to give you to see if you're growing together well. If you're in a couple, say number one, you sit down to get together and identify goals, goals in your relationship. So we always think at the end of the year, that's a good thing to do. And we used to do it even more. But I feel like we do that almost every, I think, month. We are like, oh, we hit this goal, we do this, or what do we need to work on? Or we even sit with, like, after Davis, we'll have check ins at the end of the night, like,
mhm,
oh, I could have done this better. Like, as parents, we're doing that more now, I think.
yeah.
Like, well, at the end of the night, you're like, oh, I could have done that better. And I'll even be like, I did that horribly.
I don't know about more. I think we've been doing that since the beginning. I think that's been our strength
Yeah.
is like that's what's got us through the craziness of, being a parent, like just checking in all the time and then figuring out like what our goals are. Wait, is this what we really want to do? What are we trying to do? What
Yeah.
is the thing? Sometimes it's just changing in the middle of the year. It's not always at the end of the year, but we're very hyper aware of what's going on.
Hmm.
It's not like just life is just like, what's happening kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I feel like we do check-ins at the
Yeah.
end of the night all the time. All right, number two, scheduling time each month to discuss our goals.
Hmm.
Yes, I mean, that's all the time. So you should be doing that. Identify what support you need from each other. Yes, we do that all the time.
We do, but I feel like most people don't do that. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that we've really leaned into because, we just assume that the other person should know.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together this long. She knows this is what I need, and she thinks I know what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
But there needs to be, real clear communication. This is what I need.
Yeah.
I need this time in the morning so that I'm ready for work. I
Mm-hmm.
need this so that when I get home, this is what's happening. This is, when he's there, I need this time. All those things are so specific that keep us connected because I know like, oh, I know what you need. You know what I
I
mean?
need the 2 hours on Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday by myself
Yeah.
to reset.
And when I don't do that, it's not a
It's not
good.
good because I need to be at the house by myself. You need your times in the morning by yourself
Yeah.
without us up.
Yeah. When you
Like at all. None of us.
I need nobody.
Nobody. Okay, learning ways to provide accountability without criticism. So we are really diligent. We are both sensitive, both of us, not to criticize. So we even say things like, "This is I'm not criticizing. This is not me criticizing. I'm not saying this." Like, even when he's like, "You didn't put the pillows back," I'm not criticizing because I'm really OCD about the pillows. Like, we are very gentle
Yeah.
when we give feedback
Yeah.
or something that upset us. Like,
Yeah.
very gentle. This we do not do. Reading the same book about communication, healthy connection, relationships. I think because we're both in recovery,
Yeah.
we've 20 years, we've done like programs together, we've done momentum together, we've done
Yeah.
like
We've done so
personal
many.
growth together.
Yeah.
We have read the same books. We have read the A book. We've read,
Yeah.
Drop the Rock. We've read so many
Yeah.
stuff that we don't really
I wouldn't say we do it, but I
at
don't
the same
at the
time.
same time and currently, but like over the years, I feel like there's like, oh, we're
Artist
doing,
way.
yeah,
We've read so much stuff.
this workshop together for 12 weeks and we're doing
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Having open and sometimes hard conversations about finances, household responsibilities, and relationship roles. I think definitely household responsibilities. We each know what we're doing, taking care of. I think the hardest one for us was finances until this last couple of years,
yeah,
which
but this, what you just described, I feel like that's the thing that is missing in
Mhm,
most relationships is like, you know, the healthy communication
mhm,
about these things. You know what I mean? I think that the what ends up happening is you start a relationship and you get into a pattern and it just goes a certain way and it's not exactly the way you want it to go, but it's like, okay, well, that's how it is and it's gonna maybe it'll change. I
mhm,
wish she would just maybe she wouldn't just react that way every time, and I wish he would just like do this.
mhm,
And then time goes by and it's like 5 years and you're like, God, I hate when you do that. And you're like,
mhm.
hate when I do what? That thing. Or you know what I mean? And
Well, you don't ask for the
yeah.
evolution of that. Can you actually do the dishes? Can you actually put your cup in the dishwasher
Yeah,
and start the
exactly.
dishwasher? Or I actually need you to step up with the housework because the kids are not at the house anymore.
Yeah.
I actually need 50-50.
Yeah.
We need to sit down and do financial stuff. And I don't want you to take those trips anymore. They're too expensive. Like people don't evolve in that stuff
Yeah.
because what was set 10 years ago, 5 years ago, doesn't work now. I
Right.
don't think people evolve with those agreements, the agreements of what was
Yeah.
to the agreements now. We have evolved over the years so many
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
times with finances, with household, and with
Yeah.
relationships.
Well, I mean, I think that and I see it all the time. This is what I feel with most of the clients is that there's this unrealistic, list of things that they want to change with their partner
Mhm,
about the way they are. And it's like, but that's who they are. Like you can't change that.
mhm,
But you can change the way that you are together and around some of those things. Like, you
mhm,
would like to do when if I was out all day, I'd come home and there'd be the things that you would want me to
mhm.
do. As soon as I walk in the door, great, you're home. So are you gonna finish that thing? Can you hang that thing over there? I can't reach that. Can you do that? And I was like, I just walked in the door. I needed that little moment. But for you, it was like, yeah, I've been waiting all day for you to get home because I can't do this stuff without you. So I need you to do that. So but we communicated about that and it was tough at first. And then it was like, okay.
So I wait and we have a break and
Yeah.
we know when we're going to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the next one is engaging in weekly check ins and discussing what's going well, what needs improvement, and what changes. And we do that regularly
Yeah.
all the time. So here are the last three or four. You and I, we do, but I wish we did better.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this.
That was a nice little
I'm a,
shocker
yeah,
of this.
engage in activities together.
Yeah.
We do stuff together. We're just so busy,
Yeah.
but we love doing these things. Like we like working out.
Mhm.
We like going out to dinner. You like meditating with me. I fucking hate meditating. But we like going and walking the dog. We used to love hiking before Davis was born. Like we love doing things together. We just don't do enough.
Yeah.
So we could be better at
Yeah.
that. Schedule regular date nights.
Mhm.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Or planning dates or doing, we're just terrible at
Yeah.
that. So we got to get better. And then we have done individual counseling and stuff, but like we have done couples counseling, but that we don't do a lot, but
Okay.
we have people we reach out to. So those are like the things if you're struggling, you should do. We should do
Yeah.
the
We should
dates and
definitely do
stuff
that
like
for sure.
that, but that's ways to start evolving. Those are things you can do to evolve as a couple and get closer and more connected and be partners instead of companions. Because companioning isn't a healthy long-term goal. That's more of a short-term person to have in your life to bring you comfort. But partnership is where you work as a team and you better each other and you move together on this planet and evolve. So that's like what we shoot for in relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the partnership is feels long term, ride or die. We're not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And, the way that we have evolved is the goals that I have and the goals I know that you have, we support them.
Mhm.
And that is hard when we each have our goals and we want this is what my focus is. And you're like, yeah, but this is my focus. And how do we come together and find a way for us to lift each other up at
Mhm.
every single moment rather than feel like if I give too much, then that's taking away from what's important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we always give and support, and because we're both a part of each other's
Yeah.
journeys, and that nobody pushes each other down to get higher.
Yeah.
So that's what we believe
Yeah.
in. So you evolve and support,
Yeah.
evolve and support. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it helps you be a better partner to your partner. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. Send us your thoughts, any questions you have. Send them to secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.